Sean here, Mountains Garage. It's another random video. Somebody told me the other day it's a vlog. I just call it Shop Life. About once a week I talk about small accomplishments I made around the shop that pertain to the shop and not what I'm actually working on for projects. In my last Shop Life video, I showed you a $30 bench. And I said I was going to paint it up and leave it outside. Well, I budgeted myself 1 hour, and I went at this thing with body dollies and a hammer, because it was pretty well bent up. And then 80 grit in one hand and a scraper in the other. And interesting, this bench was in a body shop. It wasn't in an auto repair shop, so it wasn't greasy. It was just covered in paint, dried paint, years of, probably was a mixing bench because it was pretty bad, but now it's found a home inside. It's probably too nice to go outside and I kind of like it, so I got my thought chair and my new bench. Let me show you a couple other things I did. No piece of shop equipment is complete until you start, slathering stickers all over it to make it feel at home. These take a pretty narrow sticker, but I'll find some more stuff to decorate it. I had this vise laying around, but don't you wish vices had a standard pattern? I swear every vise has its own bolt pattern, and you always end up drilling holes, but I found this vise, I thought it was lost, and now it has a home as well. Disregard the debris sitting on this cart, but I got this cart right after I built the garage. I bought my big TIG welder and a big plasma cutter. And this came free, if you will. So I had my torch bottles on it on one side and I had the plasma cutter on the other. And all it did is take up a 4 foot by 4 foot space where it didn't have to. And the plasma cutter was down low and I found myself not using either one because it was such a pain to get this thing unburied. And I needed to do something about it. Plus, I found a use for this base. This is my plasma cutter. It's huge. I don't know if the video does it justice. This thing is large. It'll sever 1 3/4 inches, cut 1.5 inches continuous, so it says. It's 50-foot leads on it, both the ground and the torch. So it takes up a lot of space. It works really well, and I've underused it because it was such a pain. So now I had this snap-on roll-around cart, which actually fits it pretty good. I made some hose hangers for it, and not fancy, but now I can actually roll around and use it. Should have done this a long time ago. For my torch bottles, if you shop for a welding cart, oxygen acetylene cart, they're either junk or they're $300 or $400. I'm still going to look for one used, but I took this, welded up a bunch of miscellaneous stainless bar that I had that I'd probably use for nothing else, and some chunks of roll cage tubing, so I can put chains and stuff on it. Put 2 of them on it, one high, one low. I hung my striker on there, on that extra hole. It actually works pretty good, as long as I keep the tires aired up. A long time ago I had these bottles on this cart, but it just had a couple straps around it, and it was kind of dangerous. So now the bottles are secured. It takes up a lot less space. So I think it'll work. An old timer I know that used to weld stainless for a living told me that when you weld dissimilar metals to use stainless TIG wire. And half of this square stock was stainless, half of it wasn't, and of course the cart is probably Chinese steel. Well, I've had the cart for 25 years, but I'm sure it still came from China. Maybe Taiwan. I don't know. And once again, he was right, and it welded up pretty decent. This is my parts washer that I bought it. It wasn't working. I put a new pump on it. And it works awesome. But it's just sitting on a couple of Harbor Freight furniture dollies. And I started scraping all the old paint off. I was going to paint it and build a cart for it. But now I'm going to put it on that cart over there. It's the right size. Just take off that upright and somehow maneuver it on there with the forklift, because that's going to be a trick in itself. But I got to give Harbor Freight credit for those little dollies. This thing's full of water and I've used it for 3 years. and I move it around. And she takes it. But now I can do something else with the wheels and give it the proper paint job. And this thing also was a wicked good deal, and it sure does save a lot of work. I'll end this quick video with this bender. It's a Harbor Freight. I bought it from a buddy of mine. He was having somewhat of a yard sale, and it was missing the right angle attachment. It would normally hang right there. And I was going to make one. My brother has the same bender. He let me borrow it, and I made a blueprint of it. I was going to make one, and then the guy I got this from sent me a message the other day that he found it while he's cleaning out his shop. So it's brand new, never been used. I don't know how useful it's going to be. I might convert it to bench mount. But that's it. Like and subscribe. Talk about shop stuff next week.